Good morning, everyone. And I promised I would show you this Takamine that I got at a secondhand store. And I showed it to you when I actually picked it up. It was back in May, I think. And it's just been sitting out in my little shop area, and I haven't done anything with it. So today I thought, well, I'll put some new strings on it, see how it sounds. And it sounds pretty good, don't you think? It's a Takamine. It's a TG001A. And I think one of the subscribers, I want to thank him. He said he actually saw this sold, this very model, for about $600 on Reverb. When I picked this up, I picked it up for a couple $100. And I was really concerned that I thought maybe I overpaid, but maybe not. It's not without its challenges. It's set up perfect. The strings, the action, just absolutely perfect. The sound could be a little better. I chose to put vintage strings on here, which was a big mistake. I think the strings don't really allow the guitar to resonate. I just think if I would have just went with the Dario or something like that, I would have been better. Instead, I had an old set of these. They're called Vinci. I don't know if anybody knows what those are, but they were made in New York. And I don't think they make, I think another company bought them out. There may be that brand out there, but they're not being made in New York anymore. They're handmade. And so I thought, okay, well, nylon strings, vintage guitar, let's try it. And it sounds pretty good. But I just think it could give a little bit more. And I do think it's the strings. But it does sound good. The tuners on this, though, oh my goodness, they're ready to go into the trash can. If I was to turn these right now, they squawk. They're cheap tuners. Somebody said you got a cheap guitar. I don't think it's really a cheap guitar. It's really well made, but I think the hardware they put on it, it's cheap, no question. And so I think I do have a good set of tuners for a nylon string. I'm going to change it out. I think it's worthy of that because the guitar, it sounds really good, and it's set up really good. The action is great. I mean, this action is absolutely perfect. It's got dings, but hey, that gives it character. The jury's still out whether or not it's a solid top. I've gone back and forth looking at it. I don't know. I'm not sure. But there's cedar. This is cedar. And then this is definitely laminated on the back. I tried to touch up with a little pen some of the little dings and rings. And hey, it's a great little guitar. And so I'm having some fun with it. It's not bad. I figure I'll get it fixed up. I might just sell it, try to get the money I put into it back. Somebody would get a good deal at that because it is a really nice vintage guitar. Takamine makes really good guitars. It just so happens, from what I can tell on this particular model, they didn't really make a lot of them. Actually, the more I play it, I can hear its properties a little more depth in it. And it does ring. I still think if I put a different string on it, it would have done better. thing has such a wide neck. It's really hard going back from a steel string guitar and then playing a wide neck like this. It's really uncomfortable. This thing is 2 inches. But it does remind me of a guitar, though. When I first came to California, I hitchhiked here. I think I had a little old, I think it was an Epiphone. I keep thinking it was an Epiphone. I didn't really spend a lot of time looking at the names of guitars. I was just glad I had a guitar when I hitchhiked across country to come to California. I was 19 years old, and I didn't have a case for that guitar, so it got weathered and it was just a mess. But I played it anyways. I didn't care. I played it on the street corner. I made some money with it. But I made some friends, and I had somebody give me a guitar, and it reminds me of this one, but it was a Wilson and Son. I do remember that name, Wilson and Son. They were made in Japan. I don't know if anybody's ever seen those. And this guitar reminds me of that guitar in terms of how it plays, how it sounds. And of course, this one here is made in Japan. So who knows if they're made in the same factory? I don't know, but it just reminded me of it when I started playing it. So I would play over at Ghirardelli Square, if you know anything about San Francisco. And there was an archway that you could sit in. You had to try out. You couldn't just go to Ghirardelli Square and play. You had to go try out and say, can I do this? And then you could put your hat out or whatever and your little sign and play songs and make some money so you could eat dinner. And I did that. And it was an archway that I sat in at Ghirardelli Square. And so it had a really good sound coming back at me. It would actually, it's sort of like a reverb almost, and had a great sound. And so when I got that nylon string guitar, it did all right there too, but the archtop sounded better. It might have been a K. I don't know that archtop. Could have been a K, might have been an F1. I wish I remembered, and I wish I would have kept it. But I think I left it behind and then carried the Wilson Son around for quite a while, and finally got back to steel string again after a few years. I think the next one I got was an Ovation. Everybody was buying Ovations. Anyways, so enough of that. So here it is, the Takamine, the thrift store find, and TG001A. Possibly a solid top, and laminated back and sides. Great little guitar, and just a lot of fun to play. But I still prefer those steel strings. Okay, so with that being said, let me grab one. I just happens to have, I didn't tune it though, so hopefully it's still at, oops, we're marrying these instruments here. Okay, there we go. I think it's still in tune. Okay. So the next thing that I wanted to do today was I wanted to ask a question that I've often, wondered about. And I don't know if you've asked the same question. Okay? So what guitar pick do you like? Do you like a guitar pick that's thick in size, or do you like a guitar pick that is thin? Okay, so it just so happens today I got in the mail something I placed on order from Gravity Picks. You ever hear of Gravity Picks? And so this came, and they had a sale, and one of their picks that they sell for, I think, $25 was on sale for $5. So I got a couple of them, but they're number 4s, which means they're very thick. They're acrylic, and these picks are they're hand carved and smoothed out by hand. And so here it is right here. This pick I got for $5, but if you were to get on there now, if it's not on sale anymore, I saw in one place I saw they wanted $30 for it. It's like, oh my goodness, for one pick. But then the blue chip, that's close to $50. So this one happened to be yellow, and it's made by Gravity. And so I was just curious about it because it is very, very thick. I don't know if you can see that. It's like holding a piece of glass. So what I can gather from this is that it feels like it speeds me up. But when it comes to strumming, to me it's bright. It gives almost like a little tinny sound to it. And I don't like that sound. But if I hold it differently and hold it tight, I can't get the speed on the strum. But it seems to take care of that sound. But you know, when you're doing one note at a time, I think it sounds great. So that's a thick size pick. This is a number 4. And also in the gravity bag, I got a thin pick. And these, I think, was a 0.8. Let me look at it real quick. Let's see, I can't see it. Light here. 0.77. This is a 0.77. Now remember, these are 4s. This went from a 4 down to a 0.77. And so listen to this one. See, I like that. I like the sound of this pick. As opposed to this. The thicker pick, the 4. Back to this, I feel like I have more control. 0.77. Let me see what it picks like. Probably the heavier pick is a little bit faster for picking out notes than this one. On the other hand, this one, when it comes to strumming, to me it's supreme. I like this. Yeah. So what do you think? Do you like the heavier pick or do you like the thin picks? Which do you use? And do you have a brand that you like? Now, these are gravity. They're something I'm just trying out. But I have always liked to play with the sticky mousse or the guitar mousse picks. And these actually have a little foam on them, so they'll... It just did it again. They'll stick. They don't like sticking to this finish. But to most finishes, this feel here, this little foam thing will actually just stick right on, and you can just while you're playing, you have a place to put it. So thin pick. This is 0.5 as opposed to this gravity, which is 0.7. And you can go even thinner. This one here is a 0.5. It's a PRS pick, but it feels very flexible. And when you go thin, you start hearing the click of the pick, okay? I don't know if you heard the clicking, but I could hear it, and I don't like that. I don't get that sound with this gravity pick, though. It's very smooth. It plays very smooth. This is a really good pick. Yeah, I think I'm going to like this. I'm going to try these out for a while. 0.77. As far as the expensive 4, I probably will have very little use for it. And the other thing is it sounds fatter to me, the sound coming out of it. That's the heavier pick versus the gravity 7.77. Okay, so what do you think? Do you like a thin pick? Do you like the heavier one? In this case, it's a 4. Do you like, oh, I have another one here. I think this one's a 1.3, 1.4. This one's sculpted as well. It's made by Primetone or Dunlop of USA. And it also is sculpted on the edges. You know, you get that real smooth edge like this one. You look at the edges on them. And it's a bigger pick. It's to me, it's huge. That's pretty nice too. Yeah, so this one's pretty good too. So I've actually just played medium size. I played thin ones. I played the heaviest one. And I'm asking you, what do you think? What do you like? Do you have one that you prefer? And why would you use a heavy pick like a 4? Anybody out there use heavy picks like this? Do you use them on electric guitar? Is that what it is? Or are you using them on your acoustics? Or perhaps a pick like this, is it a mandolin? I don't know. I'm asking you. Tell me what you think. I sense that this heavier pick would be better if you're doing lead guitar. This would be really good. And maybe preferred, I suppose I should say. Not necessarily good. Some might not like it. But I can see that it has its... got its own sound. It's a real fat sound. So does anybody out there prefer this? What is your application? Maybe you use different picks for different applications. Is that what it is? I just happen to like this .77 myself. I could see myself using this one. I like it because it's great for a very fast rhythm, and I think I can pick with it as well, and it doesn't have a clicking sound. So I like this pick, and sometimes I'll turn it on its edge, and because it's more rounded. And I've not used these picks before, so I'm not sure how this will work. But with other picks, I have turned them and used the side instead of the pointed side, and actually liked it. So, anyways, enough on the picks, but I did want to ask that question. Which one do you prefer? The heavy, the thin, the medium? Do you have a brand you like? Do you have something you use it for different applications and then change up when you're playing other things? All right, well, I'm going to leave you with that question. And so I guess with that, I'm going to remind you that if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And I think we're going to end it right there. I hope you have a great day.